Welcome back, everyone, to our Let's Play series of Capitalism Lab. So far, let's take a quick second and recap what we did in our first video, which was sort of an introduction, got our game started. And we started off by creating a farm, which is making completely frozen beef. And we started, we maxed out the training. You can see here we've already got all three of our livestock at level 2. So we're getting more livestock than we had been. We've already got one of our processing units at level 2 and a sales unit at level 2. Now, one of the things that I'm trying to get a grip on, and again, I'm just trying to learn this game as I go along, but you can see we're at 100% utilization here. We are at 100% utilization there. 100 there, and 100 there. So everything is running along pretty smoothly, I would say. We come over to sales, and you can see only 13% utilization and only 7% there. So quite a bit more room in the sales department for growth as opposed to in the other areas. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes moving forward. Now, the other thing that we know from our previous video is if we look at the sales of our frozen beef in our department store, the purchasing unit is running at 57%, which is really good for us because if you look, the supply, we are only able to fill up about half of the supply that the city has for the frozen beef. And you can see that lines up nicely with the pie chart here, which shows that we have basically half the market and there are no competitors right now. So all of that is good. Then we come over to our sales and you see it's at 99%. So basically what that tells me is that these guys are selling all they can. I mean, this is essentially all that they can do. You can see we've got a nice stock in here. I've now paused the game for a few moments because I've got an idea here, something I want to do. So with this frozen beef, you can see the purchasers are at level 5 right now. With the maxed out training, as is the sales. So I think what I want to do is let's change some things up. Okay, let's start off by going none here. And not that you necessarily have to do it this way, but what I want to do is I want to put my purchasing unit. Okay, and let's link this up with our suppliers, which is ourselves, and we'll double click on the frozen beef. All right, now one thing that happens is we lose the level 5. I understand that, but this is more of a long-term thing for me. And again, we're learning, so we'll see how this goes. So I'm going to put a sales over here and link those two together. And then I'm going to come over here, put a sales here, and also link that together. All right, so both of these are linked together. And now I'm going to put the game back on. Let's go ahead and put it on, say, about 2. All right, we'll get some time flowing here again. All right, now I see the time is flowing. So now we have sales, and let's just see what we get, 2% and 0%. All right, we're going to give that a little bit of time because obviously we're back to level 1s, and I think this will be better because it appeared to me, based on the purchasing, forget about the levels for a moment, they were doing about 60%, whereas the sales was maxed out. So if I get 2 sales for 1 purchasing, that should be a good deal for us. But again, we'll see how it goes. The other thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and get started into the other frozen meats. And the reason I want to do this is because I know we have one of our competitors that is already in that realm, and I want to compete directly against them. I want to see sort of how it works. Can I do it? So let's go ahead, and with that in mind, let's take a look at what we would need cost-wise to make this happen. Now, you can see we have 7 million, but granted, that's not a huge amount of money, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to build with that. So let's go ahead. We don't need another retail store. We're good there. We need another farm. All right, 1.8 million there. And let's see. Well, can I move this thing out of the way? Okay, that's, again, one of the things I don't like. I want to buy this plot of land right here, or at least attempt to, but I can't move these out of the way. All right, let's try again. Farm, and okay, it would take me $14 million to do that, and even though I move around some more, yeah, it's only going to increase from there. 13.9 is about the lowest I can get. Okay, so, but that's not the end of the world. We don't have the cash to do it, but what I can do is I can come in under the information screen. I can go to financial actions, and we have the ability to borrow money, or we could issue new shares. Now we're not gonna mess around with issuing any new shares right now and diluting our ownership and doing things like that. We're not gonna mess with that. But let's go ahead and see what we can borrow. Oh, wait a minute now. Let's see. Actually, 31. All right, 31.3 is the maximum amount that we can borrow. Okay, which is just fine. Let's go ahead and borrow that. Now you can see the cash is now brought in. Let's come back to the build menu, build a large farm right next door. There we go. Now, what do we want to put in here? Let's see, what do I want to do? I think what I want to do is do some frozen lamb. How does that do? No, it wants to spread that out too much. Okay, so never mind that. All right, sure, just get off of that. But you can see we need the livestock, essentially raising the livestock, then we need processors, then we need sales. Okay, let's go back. Can I get back out of this? No, I cannot. Yes, I can. Okay, I was afraid that was going to cancel what I had just done. All right, the other thing I want to do is I want to get another farm set up, but we're not quite ready for that yet. Let's go ahead and first do livestock raising. Which livestock do we want to raise? I want to do, let's do sheep. Okay, we're going to be able to get the frozen lamb, and then later on, if we choose to, we can get into wool and or leather. Okay, now let's do livestock processing and join those together, select the product, and of course we want the frozen lamb for now. And then finally, we want the sales. And again, for now, we're doing a one-to-one as much as possible. I know we didn't do that in the first one, but we're going to keep with a one-to-one for the most part. Let's go raising. Again, we're going to go sheep. Keeping things simple here. Go sheep, and then we're going to do a processing unit. Okay, we'll give that a second. There it goes. Frozen lamb. I actually think this is the product that one of our competitors is dealing with right now. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know 100%. Let's go ahead and max out our training before I forget about it. But again, let's have some fun with this. Let's raise some livestock. Let's compete, and let's do sheep. I like how easy it is for me to swap these things out if I decide that I want to change up everything about this. Now, again, you do lose your training, but that's okay. It's to be expected. All right, let's go ahead and let's see, what do we want to do here? I tell you what, let's go ahead and set this up the way we did the other. Okay, so everything is going good there. That means it's time to come back to the department store and set up a new product. And let's see, how do we want to do this? Do I want to do it the same way? I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and start off that way. I'm not sure if we're going to need it because, again, I don't know what the need is, the demand for this. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and we're going to give that a little bit of time to work itself out. Right now it shows 100% utilization, 16% there. We'll give this a little time to work itself out. In the meanwhile, let's come back here and let's check on what we have. All right, so our brand, our overall rating, not the brand necessarily, our overall rating far exceeds there. So let's go ahead and up this a little bit. Okay, there we go. So again, we could up this a little bit more, but right now we are simply increasing our market share. You can see that it looks like, yeah, we're utilizing both of these sales teams and we are really moving some product now. You can see our profit is just continuing to go up. I love that. Absolutely love that. Sales are doing great. Let's see, revenue continues to increase. Our quantity continues to increase. All right, so everything going great there. Let's come down to the frozen lamb. All right, we're at 39,000. What is happening here? All right, 35% utilization on purchasing. So we're good there. 46%. Okay, so not actually too bad on the percentages right now between the purchasing and the sales. And so we're at 41%, 54%. All right, so we may end up using yet another sales unit here. We'll see how it goes. All right, so 84,000 is 89,000. Let's come back over and 100. Okay, so they haven't quite caught up with production just yet, which does make sense because we're producing quite a bit here. All right, we got to get the quality going and that type of thing. One thing I did forget to check on is how are we doing here? So, oh, we're way ahead there, and we're getting a nice price for that $4. All right, let's go ahead and increase that. Let's see what happens if we increase it a couple of clicks. Okay, that gets us down. Now you can see our competitor there. In fact, with our competitor there, let's lower that down a little bit because what I want to do is my strategy that I want to come in with. You can see there's already a ton of the market that is untouched right now. What I want to do is a couple of things. First, I want to make sure that I come in and I want to keep our rating a little bit more to the high side than I normally would if there were no competition. So normally I could go down around, 2, 3, 4 on my rating here, and I would feel good about selling a lot. At this point, however, because we do have some competition, and I'm not exactly sure where he's at on pricing and quality and all that sort of thing, I want to make sure that we're a little bit above. So we're going to try to take his market share. Now, one of the ways I could take the market share is try to dump a large quantity and really bring the price way down, even taking a loss on it, and try to do it that way. And that would essentially run him out of business because he wouldn't be able to compete because my price would be so much lower. But I don't want to do business that way. I want to try to keep things basically kind of realistic. I'll call it realistic as it can be for these type of things anyway. But here you can see we're a good 70 cents below where we have to be. And of course, since we're making this ourselves, we're in good shape. I already like the fact that our piece of the pie has grown larger than his piece of the pie. Now it's going to be all about keeping an eye here and seeing about the utilization. All right. Ooh, wow. Sales unit. Okay. This is already, they're getting up much higher. So let's go ahead and set this up. Let's go ahead and set up another sales team, connect those two together because it appears that very quickly we're going to need them. Yeah, because we're getting closer to 100% there. All right, 80% utilization there, looking good. 85 and 77. Okay, so that's where I need to be. Okay, now we are at 21 million in cash. There's something else I want to do, which is to create yet another farm. And well, let me back out of that because now that I know I need to get the map position, since I can't move things around once I select this, let's go ahead and do another farm right there. And what product do we want to do? Let's see. I already know I need to get out of that. And I need livestock raising. Which livestock do we want to raise? Let's do chicken. They're next in line. Okay. And processing. Let's go ahead and connect those. Give it a second. There we go. Select our products. You can see we can do eggs as well. I don't think we can sell eggs as they are. They would require further processing. So for now, we are going to hold off on that, but we'll look at that for the future because I definitely want to dominate this market. I want to dominate what we can raise on a farm. All right. So we need a sales unit and then connect those up. All right. We should be good with that set up. Let's do that again. Let's raise chickens. And we're going to process those chickens for now into frozen food. And then we need our sales. Not that we necessarily need a sales for each one of these, but again, we're going to stay with it for simplicity more than anything. All right, let's go ahead and max out our training while I'm thinking about it because that's very easy for me to forget at this point. All right, more processing and frozen chicken. Okay, good to go there. And finally, sales. All right, so things are going good there. We have got all level ones. All right, department store, let's come back in. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna come in and do a purchasing unit and link it up to supply. There it is, frozen chicken. And I think we're also competing in this one, if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly, but I think that might actually be the case. All right, sales there. And we're going to go ahead and just assume that everything holds true as it has for the first couple. And we're going to put 2 sales forces on this. All right, so let's take a quick look at our utilization before I get into the pricing. And 84%, 92, 97. Okay, excellent. All right, this is, I would consider that to be pretty well fully utilized. It's not quite 100 on all of them, but I think we're in good shape. Utilization at roughly 75 to 80% there, 97 and 77. Okay, so not quite full utilization on our second sales team, but we're getting there. All right, now with that in mind, oh, you can see, wow, very nice there. Somebody has a very nice market share. We have 0 market share. Okay, but let's go ahead and let's see what happens over time. All right, right now, let's see, 23 to 7. We're only selling for $3. Demand, oh wow, supply is really outstripping demand. So we're going to have to work hard here. I tell you what, I'm going to leave this pricing where it is for now, a good bit higher. Looks like they've got us on quality and brand, although the brand isn't really as much of a big deal at this particular point in time. All right, so not bad at all. All right, at some point, I need to get some advertising going to try to build us a brand. But for now, it doesn't look like that's going to be an easy thing to do. All right, you can see we're starting to build a little bit of a piece of the pie. We need to take it away from whichever team is the blue team, but they don't look like they're going to give it up very easily. All right, but we're competing very nicely on price. You can see overall everything is getting better, but again, for us, our quality will get better as well. All right, let's come out of there. Now that we've got 3 farms and we don't have enough cash right now to do anything with as far as building anything else, at least any farms, mostly because of the price of the land. I mean, we could build a farm, but we can't afford the land right now. So let's take this moment to go ahead and let's look at some of the information screens. We're at a point now where, let's see, I'll tell you what, let's back out and let's go about, we're going to put it on 3 as far as the speed goes. Okay, we're going a little bit faster there, and we're going to keep an eye on our profit number and sort of see how that's going as we work our way through. Okay, if you remember, we've got 3 farms, but there is one additional frozen product that I want to get into. Okay, but we're not quite ready to do that just yet, and that is to get into pigs. So as soon as we can, we'll jump back into that. But for now, let's take a look at the information screen. All right, we know I've got the loan outstanding. We could actually pay some of this back. I'm not looking to pay it back right now, simply because I want to use this cash whenever we can to get into yet another product. Actually, that reminds me. Okay, we're full up here. Yeah, because of the way I did this, if we could do 1 purchase and 1 sales, then we would be fine. But because we're pushing so much product through here, we need 2 sales departments, at least for now. You can see sales departments, we're at level 4. Here's a 5 on purchase. All right, so we've already got purchase level 2 on chicken. All right, let's see how we're doing. All right, they're really pushing hard to increase their overall score. We're still at 23, and you can see our piece of the pie is jumping. Now, this gray area, we already know that the blue is one of our competitors. The white is the remaining part of the demand that is not being met. So there's not much of that left. So most of the growth in our piece of the pie is going to have to come from the blue or the gray. Now this gray, if I remember correctly, is actually the import. So this amount of in this case, the frozen chicken is being imported. Now, if we come back over, you can see we have nearly all of this pie. I would consider us to be in great shape here. In fact, we're in really great shape there. Let's go ahead and increase this some more, try to increase our profits. Look at that graph. That is wonderful to see. We're making a profit of 570 grand as opposed to a revenue of 3 million and 620,000 is the quantity. So we are doing great there. Let's look here as well. Okay, we are destroying them right now. Okay, rating still looking good. Not quite as much of a gap there as we had before. But now you can see, oh, wow, they might have actually gotten out of it. And the reason I say that is because the quality rather, went back down to 30. And I believe it was higher than that, if I remember correctly. I may be wrong on that, though. The pricing has got a little bit closer, but once again, we are eating up this market share right now. We are devouring them, which may another reason I think that they may have left the market. We'll keep an eye on that graph. Let's see what happens here. Again, we are running them out of market share right now. I'm loving this quite a bit. All right, so what we're looking at this point, I promise we will get back to the information screen. There's just so much going on in this game that it's hard to keep track of it. All right, things are going good. We're almost up to the point where I could do another farm. The problem I've got now is when I do another farm, I'm going to need to also create another department store because we are maxed out here. At some point, as I mentioned, we're going to need to do some advertising. Let's head back to the information stream and first take a quick look at the corporation. Let's see how we stack up. All right, right now, cash I'm not worried about because you can't really compare cash a whole lot because who knows how much these guys have been building stuff recently, how much they've been, borrowing money, that kind of thing. So it depends on whenever you catch it as to whether or not that works out well. Let's look at annual revenue, 77 million for us, 49,159. Oh, wow. Wow, they are doing great. Otherwise, we look to be about second place, roughly there. They're doing great. That's amazing. Annual profit, 18.8, 55. Man, that is very nice. All right, so annual profit, we seem to be roughly in second place. I'm not sure what's going on here. This competitor almost seems to have just cashed out of everything. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But so far, we're doing well. At some point, we're going to have to figure out where we go next. I know we've got another frozen product that we want to do. I also want to do beds. I also want to get some into leather because that's into cows, which we can do with farms. So I'm very excited about that. But again, getting a little ahead of ourselves. We don't quite have the cash to move forward on all this just yet because, again, we're going to need to purchase a new retail store as well as getting another farm. So that's going to be quite expensive. But our profits are coming along quite nicely, I must say. We're a good bit behind. So we're in second place, but it's a distant second right now, for sure. All right, let's look at the corporate details. Here you can see, all right, it shows us we have 3 farms, 1 retail store. Our stock price is doing amazing. All right, let's look at the blue squad. I would imagine this started happening when we started taking some of their business, but look at the chart here. This is pretty amazing. Now, strategy is diversified. Let's see, diversified. Looks like everybody is diversified. Oh, he's stock focused. All right, that's what he's doing. So he's got cash, but his net worth is doing well. Maybe that, yeah, you can see his net worth is changed based on the stock price. Well, his cash has not changed. So he must have just, all right, he's stock focused. So we're just not going to worry about him right now. Okay, let's go to our advertising. You can see we don't have any advertising going on. Our brand right now is not much, which is to be expected, basically. All right, market share. As far as dominance goes, frozen beef, we are doing great there. Frozen chicken, which is our newest product, we rank second, and we have a 34% market share. Frozen lamb, we are dominating that market with 87%. So looking nice. We're in second place. We're about half on frozen chicken, but we're doing great. All right, we've looked at the products a little bit. I do want to see a little bit more. Let's see. This is actually not the screen I want for that. Product details. Let's do the search because it's not quite as easy to find what you want there as I would like. So if we come to the beds, all right, it doesn't look like anybody is selling beds. That is huge for us. Really, really want to get there. Okay, let's look and let's see, leather. Let's go down and look at leather. All right, leather. I know leather wallet is one I want to look at, and nope, looks like there is no market share. Nobody is working this. Wow. All right, that is excellent once again. Okay. All right, let's look at firms and how everything is going. Now, again, we're just looking at ours. We could look at our competitors as well. Let's see. Yes, it was 15 customer traffic there. And utilization is looking pretty good. All of these are in the high 70s to low 80s, which is what I like to see. These graphs look really good. Okay, so right now we are doing great on money, so we'll jump back into that here shortly. Here you can see assets, liabilities. I mean, if you are a finance person, this is right up your alley because you can see, I mean, you've got expense based reports, you've got assets, you've got reports on liabilities, you name it, you've got it on here. All right, let's come back to, and then there is a farmer's guide. All right, one thing I want to look at is we're going to come back to the bed. Timber, I've got to find a source of timber. If I can do that, then we can really crank out some beds. Again, we've already seen nobody is in that market, so it's wide open for us. Outputs, if I scroll all the way down to the leather, and let's go leather wallet, you can see it just needs leather. That's it. And that's why I like it at this point. All right, so we're doing good there. The next thing I might want to look into is like some of the food items, like the chocolate bars or maybe a cereal bar, that kind of thing, because I can use the farms on it as well. You know, grow some wheat, turn that into maybe a cereal bar, that kind of stuff. On the farmer's guide side of things, you can see if I choose, you know, chickens, what can I use chickens for? Eggs, what are eggs used in? And again, we can see what other items are eggs used in. Is that all that eggs are used in? Is cakes? Surely not. Maybe though. All right, we'll have to come back to that because right now, yeah. So far, let's see about cocoa. Yeah. So apparently, eggs are only used in that one item. But you can see here milk, which of course we can get from the cows, and the cocoa, which we should be able to raise on a farm, and we can turn those two items into chocolate bars. So I think we're good there. So we've got many different options. All right, so we got 54 grand and profit is looking amazing. You can see here at the bottom, interest rate was just lowered. All right, let's go ahead and put up another retail store. Or I tell you what, let's start out with the farm. We're going to do a large farm. And oh, what did I forget to do? I forgot to, oh, there we go. I can use the add scroll and we're doing good. Let's go ahead and purchase this land. And how do we want to do this? Well, I want to go and actually let's try something here. Livestock. And let's see, cattle. Let's do the cattle. And so I'm going off script a little bit here from what I had planned. Let's do livestock processing and join those together. Give it a second. I want the leather. Then I don't want to sell that. I want to further process it. Link these two together. Can I do that? Is that going to be allowed? All right. No, it's not going to let me. Okay. So I can't do that on the farm. Okay. I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to do that, but hey, you never know. So let's go ahead and do sales there. And we'll have to see how this utilization goes. So now I'm going to make some leather and we're going to jump wholeheartedly into this particular area. So we're going to raise some more livestock. I tell you what, before I do that, 100%, let's max out our training. And okay, yeah, we're maxed out on that. And there's our leather sales. Okay, let's go ahead and set up our livestock raising, cattle. Join those two and pick our leather. And then we're going to do a sales unit. How much is the sales unit getting used here? 0% right now. Well, I guess that would make sense since right now they're not really selling it to anybody unless there is a local company that decides to buy from us. All right, so we need livestock processing. Connect those two. Select our leather and sales. All right, it was just too much for me to hold off on getting this done. All right, so now we are going to purchase yet another, but this time it's going to be a factory. Let's do a large factory. We're going to put it right there. Do we have enough? Oh, yeah, we're good. All right, and we are going to put in a purchasing unit. I'll tell you what. How was I doing this on some of these others? Did I need? I think we're actually good with just, yeah, I think we're good there. All right, so let's come back in. I was wondering if I needed to set this up a little differently. Let's do purchasing. Let's link up to this and see that we need to purchase leather, which we are going to set up manufacturing for this, join those two together. Leather wallet. Okay, wow. I wasn't expecting that. Didn't expect it to happen quite so quickly there. I thought I was going to have to choose that, but I did not. All right, so now we have our leather wallets that we're setting up. Now, I'm not sure if we can use 3 of those here. We're going to have to wait on that a minute. But before we do that, I want to actually come out of that and come back down and get ready to purchase another retail store. And let's look around here and see what we've got. 27 on the traffic index, 21. Okay, I like that idea. Oh, he's got a farm right there that he wants to sell. 21 is good. All right, let's go ahead and without spending a whole lot of time on this, yeah, this is a much better area than we had the first time around. All right, so we are going to, again, do I need to set it up like this? 2 sales for each purchase. I'm not sure. I am going to attempt not to, and I'll show you why here momentarily. Let's see, let's go ahead and put up a sales unit there and a purchasing unit there. Link these up and get our leather wallets to go to the sales department. And I want to do advertising. I want to do advertising here. And I think I can actually link these two together. Let's link the media. Okay, what media do we want to use? Now, what we're looking for is rating points. The higher, the better, but also the cost. So this rating seems to be the best. It's a good bit higher than the radio station, but it is lower, in fact, there. So we're going to choose the newspaper, and let's select that. All right, so let's really start to push this. All right, monthly spending. Actually, let's do our training. I'm not sure I need to spend quite that much. Let's lower this down. All right, now what this should do is start to work on our branding. And if you remember, our branding is as a company. So we're branding as NEPIT Incorporated. not necessarily leather wallets. So we'll keep an eye on this and see how it goes. And so for right now, let's come back over to our pricing and see how we're doing. Now you can see already that we're doing great here. Overall, the city is at 6. We're at 20. Our brand is at 5 right now. At 6. Oh wow, are we doing that good on everything? Yes, we are. Our brand is growing tremendously quick. Holy cow. I did not expect it to grow anywhere near this quick. Now, what that's going to do for us is obviously, it's going to increase our rating. And as it does so, it's going to enable us to charge more for our product. It makes sense. Particularly if the customers are very interested in the branding. If they are, then that's going to mean that the better our brand gets, then, we've actually lost a little bit on the branding. We'll have to see how this all works out. Maybe it's not a continuous thing. But so the more that these consumers realize that our brand is something they're interested in, then our rating goes up. We'll be able to charge more for it. Now, since we have absolutely zero competition in this space right now, we are going to do, let's go ahead and raise this a couple of clicks to 180. Okay, that actually takes us even. We're going to leave it there for a while. Let's see what we've got. Purchasing, we're about halfway utilized. Sales, okay, we're almost fully there. Okay, but so far so good. I mean, you can see profit 240 grand, 250. It's growing. Revenue is growing. All right, 4,800 on the quantity. Let's come back up here and let's see, 4,800. Okay, so we're not too far off of that. Okay, here you can see our quality. Oop, one of the things I forgot to do. I thought I did that, but I apparently forgot to change the training. Okay, no big deal there. We've got it there now. So slowly our quality will increase over time. And then our brand, of course, is doing well at this point. All right, so purchasing the leather. Is that really at 0%? Wow. Okay, we're 100% utilizing the manufacturing. So we've already stocked 40,000 of this, which reminds me, we need to look and see how things are going here. All right, how is sales being utilized? Okay, not all that much. We're making a ton of leather is what I think I'm seeing here. 40,000 in stock everywhere, 80,000 in stock. Okay, yeah, we need to do some work here. All right, let's go ahead and get started on that. But I tell you what, unfortunately, we've run out of time. I need to stop it here before, I could play this game all day long. This is one of the great things about games like this is that they're so much fun, and before you know it, hours have gone by. So before we get to that point, I need to go ahead and stop here. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you're enjoying the series because I'm loving playing this game. So thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more.